So thanks you guys for letting us come meet with you again. As a reminder, I'm Elder Lot, and this is...
I'm Elder Tanner.
And kind of last lesson we talked about some things dealing with the gospel. And just as we're going to start out, like we're going to... have you ever wondered where we've come from or where we're going or what our purpose is here in this life?
Yeah, for sure. For me, I wonder all the time, like, why are we here? What's the purpose if there's nothing after or nothing before?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It wasn't something I don't know. I don't usually think about super deep things like that. But I just read a book called The Dog's Purpose. And, it's talking about, this dog's finding its purpose in life. And then I was like, what's my purpose in life? What the heck am I doing here, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So. For sure. Yeah, I mean, we definitely believe, and I should say we do have a purpose, and we know where we came from, why we're here, and where we're going. And it all kind of comes together in what we call the plan of salvation, or another word for it is the plan of happiness. Basically the plan is, it's kind of a roadmap to kind of show, like I said, what we're doing, why we're here and where we're going, you know? And as it's called the plan of happiness, it really is just about joy and finding the happiness in life, you know?
So maybe we can show them the...
Oh yeah, so we have a diagram that we drew up. Just a little rough sketch of what the plan of salvation. I know it looks a little scary, but we'll definitely explain all of it to you.
So our first kind of bubble here, or existence, is we lived in the pre-mortal life. So that's like heaven, where we lived with all of our brothers and sisters, all of us here. And this is where our kind of preparatory state to coming down here to earth. So we were born into families, right? We pass the veil, we're born into families, and this is kind of our almost testing period where we get to determine if we want to go live with our Heavenly Father again.
Yeah. Another thing that goes on along with that, have you guys ever heard of Adam and Eve?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about them? Or have any context on them?
Well, weren't they in a garden somewhere, and then Satan made Eve eat some fruit, and then because of that they got in trouble or something, right?
Yeah, so it's pretty similar to that. So we believe that Adam was the first man that God created with a physical body. And then Eve he created next so that they could be together. And then so there was Satan. He came in the form of a certain serpent, and he enticed Eve to eat the fruit of the tree of good and evil. And so basically, as she ate that, she gained the knowledge of what is good and what is bad. And so they were not allowed to stay in the garden anymore because they weren't perfect anymore. But this allowed us to have the ability to choose between right and wrong when we came to this earth. So that's kind of where he talked about the earth is a place for us to show God that we love Him, and as we talked about in the first lesson, our Heavenly Father does love us. Remember that. So we want to show Him that we love Him, and so by doing that, we will make right choices.
And so our existence here on earth is what he is saying is to make those right choices. So after our we die, we go to something called spirit paradise or spirit prison. And spirit paradise is where you lived a good life, you go there and you wait for the resurrection. But I know it's kind of confusing, so we'll talk about it in a sec. If you haven't received the gospel or you haven't learned it, that's where you go to spirit prison. It's kind of a harsh name, but really what it is that's where you'll get taught the gospel, and you can choose once again whether to receive it or not. And it's kind of just a waiting stage till the resurrection. And
for sure. Like you said, spirit prison, I know it's kind of a harsh name, but it's really just about just waiting to learn the gospel
Mhm.
because you didn't have the opportunity in your earthly life. So, and then also just a side note, as we came to earth, actually, sorry, I went on tangent there. No, yeah, so, and then Spirit Paradise is just where you go if you've already received the gospel, and most likely these people will be able to teach the people in prison. Yeah. Do you have any questions up to here so far? Or
Not yet.
not yet?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe about resurrection.
So,
Okay.
like the people who are in spirit prison, if they get like taught about Jesus, then they don't have to be in spirit prison anymore.
No.
Okay.
No, yeah, for sure. So yeah, you definitely so the people who are here, we believe that they still have you kind of have the same mindset that you did on earth. And so you still have the ability to choose, like we said, so you still have the ability to choose whether you want to accept the gospel or if you want to reject it. But yeah, if you do accept the gospel and accept Jesus Christ into your life, you could definitely get out of there. Yeah, no worries.
Awesome. So kind of moving on after, so this is kind of the judgment stage, is where we are judged by our Father in heaven, and all of our actions that we've done on earth will be accounted for, and we will be assigned a degree of glory. And these degrees are celestial. That's like the highest of the highest. That's with our Father in heaven. That's as good as it gets. In the terrestrial, that's like you lived a pretty good life. You did pretty good. It's the middle ground. And then telestial, that's like where if you didn't live the best life you could have, you went out of your way to sin, you kind of rejected the teachings, that's where you'd go. So as we make decisions here in this mortality, our aim should be for obviously the celestial kingdom, to achieve that highest degree of glory with our Father in heaven. Is there...
No, just one side note to go along with that. So when we go through our temporal death, we're separated from our physical bodies, and we become spirits. That's kind of why this is called Spirit Prison, Spirit Paradise. And then another aspect of the resurrection is we are able to have our spirit and our physical body rejoined back together. And so, and that's made possible by Jesus Christ. But yeah, and I know the kingdoms might sound a little scary, I don't know. But I think what we just have to remember and what we have to know is that all of these are a different degree of heaven, and so they're all going to be marvelous, and they're all going to be magnificent, and they're all going to be much better than earth. And so I think that's why we shouldn't necessarily be scared of death, is because, we will be able to live with our Heavenly Father again. But yeah, I think I want to just bear my testimony that I do know that this plan of salvation, honestly, I find joy in it. Like it is a plan of happiness, because it allows me to be with my family again. That's one of the biggest aspects, is that it allows us to live with those people that we love. And we are, a lot of people think that earth is it for them. And I just get very excited that I know I can be with my family for eternity.
I would have to second what Elder Tanner is saying here. I'm sure as you guys, as I have family that I've passed on from this life, and that I want to see again. And it's so touching to know that there is hope. And I promise that, you live a good life, you do your best, you will be able to see them again. And that's the amazing thing about this gospel. It brings hope, and I would urge you guys to accept it, because I want to share that with you. And if we could just leave a commitment with you guys to pray about these things and ask your Father in heaven if these things, if the plan of salvation is real, if you can live with your family again, if you guys could commit to doing that, and we could follow up next time, that'd be great.
Yeah, will you guys commit to praying about it and asking?
Yeah.
our Heavenly Father?
Awesome.
Perfect. Alrighty. Any more questions?
No, I don't think so.
I think we're
Alrighty.
Thank
Perfect.
you so much.
Thank you.